So, you find naval invasions difficult, or maybe you don't know how to do them at all. If that's the case, look no further, because I'm gonna take you through the 3 levels of naval invasions and turn you into a pro in the shortest time possible. Starting with level 1. A solid foundation is key to all great things in life, and in the case of naval invasions, there are 4 pillars: tech, convoys, commands, and support. Let's elaborate on each point. In terms of research, you need at least the transport ship tech researched from the naval support tab. Some countries have this from the start, others don't. So it's always good to check and have it ready beforehand, as you otherwise will waste time and might miss your moment. This first tech will allow you to invade with up to 10 divisions, while the 1941 increases that to 30 divisions. This should be enough even for big operations like D-Day, so it's not needed to wait for the 1944 tech, even though it does increase your limit to a whopping 130 divisions among other bonuses. You need enough transport ships or convoys to carry your attacking divisions through the seas. Keep in mind that not all divisions are created equal, as larger ones that have tanks or trucks will weigh considerably more compared to pure infantry or special forces divisions. If you have troops assigned to a general, you can see the total weight of divisions from this area right here. This is how many transports it will take to carry the entire army, which in this case consists of 19 divisions. If you want to check the individual weight of each division, you can see it here. Again, this is transport ships rounded up to the higher number. Step number 3 is pressing the right buttons. So with your convoys and your technology ready to go, what you need to do is select troops that you put under a general and preferably a field marshal. Then this battle plans interface will show up. Now you need to left click on naval invasion order, left click on the port that you're attacking from, then right click on the target that you are attacking, and you finalize all of this with the press of the enter button. If you get everything right, you will see this red bar appear right next to the face of the general that you are attacking with. Now we're not done just yet. We need to reserve some convoys and we need to prepare our invasion, which in this case will take us 3 days. I'm gonna press space to let some time elapse. And on the 3rd day, I'm pressing the play button. And nothing happens because we haven't completed step number 4, which is assigning a fleet to protect your naval invasions. It's like forgetting to put water on your instant ramen, a dry and rather disappointing experience. So to put a fleet on naval invasion support, there's this mission right here. Left click it, then you right click all of the areas which your troops will pass. If you don't know which these areas are, as is sometimes the case, you can hover your mouse over the play button and you will see you need at least 50% naval supremacy over the West Emperor Chain, Micronesian Gap, and Eastern Micronesia. And when we switch to our naval screen here, pressing all of these will make it so that we have that 50% naval supremacy. So now when we press the button, off we go with our invasion fleet. You can see them traveling, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so we are definitely not winning this battle, and to understand why, we need to advance to level 2. Here's what someone who's played a couple of 100 hours will tell you about why this invasion is failing. First of all, we're not attacking with the right division. This is a infantry quote-unquote division with a single infantry battalion, so you don't have much firepower there. I did this on purpose, get off my case, mom. Secondly, we didn't even wait for the organization bar of this division to fill up. This is basically a representation of how long our division is willing to fight for. Lastly, there's also this planning bonus, which if you have time on your hands, you should wait for it to fill up because it will give you a buff when you're attacking. Now let's see what happens when I attack with 3 proper divisions, which are going to be Marines that are 20 with some nice support companies as well. We're attacking. Now you can see that this battle is going much better right now. Let's see if we'll succeed. And we're slowly starting to lose because our organization is dropping alongside our strength at a faster pace compared to the defenders. Now, 3 divisions was obviously not enough as we were attacking against 2 in Wake Island, which also has a level 5 coastal fort. If you put like 5 or 6, you are going to win this battle. But I want to show you how you can even win with 3 divisions. So let's take this example again. Our 3 divisions have attacked again against the 2 defenders. Everything is exactly the same as the last battle. However, we can do more with less. The trick is to use force multipliers, and the easiest force multiplier to use here are the planes on your aircraft carriers. Now, if you leave this fleet on naval invasion support, all of the airplanes here will be stuck on a carrier mission. However, if you press Ctrl and H, this will hold your ship in place and free up all of these planes that are going to become available for ground support and air superiority, which should tilt the odds in our favor. Let's see what happens. And there we go. We have won this battle with the exact same task force and division. The only difference was that we used naval air force to project air power into the island, thus allowing us to win here. Now, I do like to design hybrid naval bombers. This is, I guess, my secret because it allows them to be sort of like multi-roles. You have torpedo mountings that take care of naval bombardment when you are on such a mission, and then I've put in 2 heavy bomb locks. They won't help you with naval attack, but that's alright because you can only have 1 torpedo mounting anyways. But what they will do is going to add 16 ground attack whenever you decide to do a close air support mission. And here I've just added some air ground raiders and fuel tanks and drop tanks to increase the range if I want to do something a bit more crazy, because air zones at sea are quite large. Lastly, I'll give you a level 3 pro tip when it comes to attacking islands and island hopping like so in the Pacific. Sometimes you will face heavily fortified positions. For example, Wake Island had a level 5 fort, which is no pushover, but you will sometimes in multiplayer especially see like level 7, level 8 fortifications if they're allowed, and maybe even 6-7 divisions or more protecting a very important island. What you can do in such situations is, instead of attacking straight on with whatever marines you have, you can starve the island. Just send some submarines in the area, or if you have a greater fleet, you can use it to do convoy raiding in this example. So these islands, the troops on these islands rather, will starve fast, because even with a level 9 or 10 naval base, these are small areas that cannot support 10 divisions or something of the sort. So attack them with your navies beforehand, because it's rather easy to fight hungry skeletons instead of a prepared defense. If you like this tip, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep me well supplied with your support. With island hopping done and dusted, let's move over to level 3 and a more challenging naval invasion scenario, D-Day. Now, as you can see here, I've already established the beachhead and I'm rapidly advancing towards the heartland of Germany, which is a bit anticlimactic when you think about it. So let's rewind and take it from the top. Now, before you start plotting arrows on the map like I have here, it's always a good idea to come up with a decent plan. For this specific invasion, I have decided to strike a bit east compared to the historical Normandy landings for a few reasons. We have Antwerpen, which is a level 8 port, we have Ghent, which is a level 3 port, Dunkirk, level 6 port, and Dieppe, even though it's a small port, it is very close to this one, and we can take this one shortly after we land. Furthermore, these 2 ports are of a urban terrain, and in urban terrain you have an attack modifier of 70%, meaning that that you can only attack with 70% of your attack values, and you have your air support effects are reduced by 50% when you are attacking. Compare this to Calais, compare this to Dunkirk and to Antwerpen and Ghent. These are all plains regions that you can attack easily and are harder to defend because they don't have any negative modifiers to divisions that try to come and take them over. Last but not least, the geography of this part of France makes it a bit iffy for an invasion, because if an organized defense comes around here, it does create a bit of a bottleneck, I would say. Not a problem against the AI, but maybe in multiplayer you might have a more organized defense along these lines that will kind of stop you from advancing, while as if you land here, you can basically direct your army wherever you want to go. You can swing towards Paris, you can go towards the Netherlands, you can go towards Germany, and you have the space and the provinces to advance. Of course, you will have larger flanks as well, but you are going to be attacking with a lot of troops, so that's not necessarily a problem. Now, if you have the no step back expansion, you can always select railways and just hover your mouse over enemy territory to see where they have large supply hubs. Obviously, Paris is a big one, but another really big one is Brussels as well. So this is why I've decided to attack here as well, and even attack with paratroopers, which we're going to discuss in a little bit. Lastly, the Meuse and Rhine rivers are a defender's dream because stationing divisions behind them gives them a big defensive bonus. Furthermore, the Marines that we use for the initial invasion will have a bonus to attacking through rivers, so we're going to put them to good use here. Establish a crossing that will lead us to the plains region of Germany and the Ruhr, which is a very heavily industrialized area, so taking it over will be of a big bonus. And of course, we're not too far away from Berlin at that point too. Now that we've made a good plan that takes advantage of the local geography, let's talk troops. I'll be using around 30 Marine divisions to attack the beachheads. This is the template that I'm using. Again, nothing too fancy. You can even add 2 more support companies to make these even better. Ideally, you can take some time after you draw up the plans and wait for the Marines to get this plan preparation attack bonus, which is up to 41% in this case. Additionally, we will be using paratroopers here. This is the template that I am going for. I'm going to send most of them behind enemy lines to cut off railways, disorganize the defense even further, and most of the paratroopers that I'm going to attack with 5 divisions of the 11, so almost half of them will be attacking Brussels, because as I mentioned earlier, Brussels is a major supply hub that I want to take, so I can secure supply for myself and deny it from the defenders to disorganize them even further. Now at this point, I will be diving into some features that are unlockable through some of the expansions. I'm not trying to be a paradox shield here, it's just that I might have some features that you don't, and you might be wondering what I'm talking about. Well, this is what I'm talking about. With the Arms Against Tyranny expansions, our special forces got a huge talent tree, so this is why I have spec'd the Marines and the paratroopers to get some pretty broken and unfair advantages, to be honest. The Marine tree mostly gives soft attack and organization, as well as Pioneers, which is a really OP support company. We also get a bonus to air superiority, naval invasion planning. We can produce more of them as well, and we get short bombardment bonus, which is like a artillery bonus when you are doing naval invasions. As for paratroopers, this is where things get really nasty. This second talent here adds a massive debuff to enemy organization when you drop paratroopers in an area where there are enemy divisions stationed. This talent just takes away a huge chunk of organization, which will make, again, the defending divisions fight for much less time compared to usual, so you can break through much easier. Here you can even drop armor from airplanes. I haven't gone for that, but if you want to make it even more effective, you could deploy some airborne armor divisions as well. And here we have some nice modifiers to support divisions, to organization, and this is a really massive one because it gives your paratroopers a fantastic soft attack and breakthrough plus 15% on both of these. Also, we need to put these divisions under a proper commander. For my Marine Army, I have chosen Alexander Van de Grift. This guy has a bonus to the preparation time. It takes less time to prepare naval invasions, and they're more speedy, so they travel through the water faster. At least that's how I understand this second bonus here. And the other one is Naval Liaison, which gives you a flat 25% short bombardment bonus. So everything that stacks upon stacks upon stacks upon stacks. Really great things, one after the other. Here we have Alexander Patch, who I have specialized for paratroopers. It gives them an extra 240 hours of supply, so they will run out of supplies an extra 240 hours later compared to normal, which means that we can defend and we can attack with these paratroopers for longer and make things happen as they get connected to the initial beachheads. Another huge, and I mean massive bonus comes from the spy agency. As you can see, we have established 100% spy network in the area where we're going to be attacking specifically, and you can see the effects from that. We get 100% bonus to our invasion defense and a 50% planning speed bonus. So when we get to northern France and Belgium starting to draw up plans, we'll do it 50% faster so we can get that attacking bonus that much faster. But that's not all. That's not even the main part, because the main part is the debuffs that come for Germany. They get 100% debuff to their max planning, meaning that their attacking bonus when they plan will be cut in half essentially, which is something that perhaps the AI doesn't do too much, but against the human this is really valuable. And the second one, which I think is the biggest of them all, is that it gives you a max entrenchment penalty of -5. That's not -5%, it's a flat -5 entrenchment debuff, meaning that a regular infantry unit, if it's not too specced in engineers and all that, will be completely unable to entrench itself against our attackers. And as you might know, entrenching is one of the main ways to increase your defense, so completely removing that is absolutely out of this world. Lastly, let's talk Air Force and Navy. Any free carrier fleets that you have can be used for air superiority, just like I showed you in level 2. Park them somewhere in the water with control in H, then use the fighters for air superiority, and if you've built hybrid naval bombers, you can use them to do close air support as well. In addition to all of the tactical bombers, CAS and other types of bombers, you can park in Britain and have them pounding mainland Europe and your invasion destination. For naval invasion support, you can use any of the old battleships, create a battle group with them, and they will perform really well. They will provide you with support when your divisions come out to attack, and they will give that all-important short bombardment bonus. In terms of the air, just the air superiority provided by your fighters gives the enemy a 30% debuff to their defensive values and their speed. The first is obviously quite good. The second is also really important, especially if the enemy has divisions that try to come and reinforce your intended landing areas. When you add ground attacks into the mix, you have airplanes attacking the organization in addition to the strength of enemy divisions directly. Doing all these things in combination really leaves no chance to the defenders. But if you want to twist the knife even further, you can break the cipher of the Germans, execute War Plan Black for a 10% bonus to offense and defense against the Reich, and establish a few collaboration governments so the enemy surrenders as soon as you cap a few major cities. And if everything else fails, nuke them. I'm kidding, you shouldn't have to resort to that, but if you do, at least you can rewrite history and make it so the Germans are at fault. So that's all I've got when it comes to naval invasions. Hopefully you've learned something something here, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. From my side, I promise to make more of these tutorials to get your game up.